So it's not every day that you come across a boat in the middle of the desert. And this is why. Somebody put it over a mining shaft. Listen. Oh, did it really stop? Okay, so it's not too horribly deep, but that is extremely, extremely funny. Hey Rocklings, and welcome back to Elley Knows Rocks. This is part 2 of 3 of the beginning half of the Arizona Peace Trail. I really hope that you all enjoyed part 1, but I believe that part 2 is a hell of a lot better. So hold on, and here we go. Look! Prospect hole. And this one's pretty cool. This one has a wood frame all the way around it. I think they were thinking that this was going to pay off big time, but it only goes in just so far. You can kind of see. Yeah, that's only like 50 feet deep, which, yeah, that is fairly deep. And then you have the boat over there, boat trailer. Pretty cool though. Look at the surroundings. The mountains. This is the bra and panty tree on the Arizona Peace Trail. This amazingly decorated tree was put here in memorial of breast cancer and is decorated with bras and underwear. So this is a shout out to my women out there. Do not forget to do your breast exams. We are taking another offshoot right now that is supposed to take us to a beautiful location called Hidden Canyon. It's a large version of a slot canyon in this area that some people can drive through, and there's 2 different ways to get here. We could have got here yesterday and come in from the west to take the north entrance, but today we're coming in from the east and taking the south entrance, which means we will not be able to drive through the canyon, but we should be able to walk through it. Well, this looks promising. We're actually taking a quick stroll up here, which is another detour before we get to Hidden Canyon, so that we can check out the view and look at where we just came from. It's always nice to stop and smell the roses or look at the rocks, whatever you want to call it. Aww. It's really beautiful. It's very bumpy. I was enamored with how beautifully colored everything was, including the rocks all over the ground. Most of what we're standing on is rhyolite. So you see a very mottled red color of rock. Tons of volcanics created these hills. And this is where our route to Hidden Canyon becomes a lot more technical. Anytime you're doing an adventure alone, with a very limited service, you have to be able to get out of wherever you get into. So we always use as much caution as possible, but still like to live a little bit on the edge. If you don't push yourself, you never know what you can handle. At the same time, you don't want to break your equipment and be stranded and hike for miles on end to get out. When doing things like this, it is very much advised that you have a buddy system or you leave GPS points so that people will be able to find you in case you don't come back. Always tell somebody where you're going and where you should be by a certain time and day. And if you're trying something new and you're not exactly sure about it, do that with somebody else, so just in case you do get stuck, they can pull you out. When we planned for this trip, we brought enough food, water, and supplies for at least 4 days of being out in the desert, whether that be just camping at night when we choose to, or if we were to get stranded. Always make sure you have enough supplies and you know how to use your equipment well, whether that be your camping equipment, how to start a fire, how to make a shelter, how to put up a tent. Don't just start off and not know what you're doing. Although some of these things may sound silly or stupid or sound like common sense, you would be very surprised how many people actually get stuck out in the middle of nowhere because they thought they knew what they were doing, or they thought they knew how to use their equipment, and they really didn't. If you're brand new to any type of adventuring, take a course from somebody, ask to tag along, and always ask as many questions as possible. Just so you're aware, this video was sped up by 200%. We weren't remotely close to going this fast. And when we come up against something we can't handle, listen to our voices.
I don't think we can get back up there.
I don't think we can either. And this is where we make our stop and start to walk, which also meant snack time. Is just stunning. Man. What a rock climbing wall. Wow.
Good.
This is part of Secret Canyon on the Arizona Peace Trail. Some of the rocks are just huge. They would make great climbing rocks. And this is an area where some people have driven through. Our side-by-side was a little bit, didn't really want to take it here because it's super long and didn't want to get stuck over a little lip that we decided to park on. This is absolutely gorgeous. We spent a little bit of time in Secret Canyon, and then we decide to head off to get to the Gold King Mansion, which is another detour located in the Wallapai Mountains. Unfortunately, we had a few setbacks, including a giant road closure. Since we had decided to do this in October, a big rainstorm had come and washed out our main road. So the Forest Service decided to close that road, so we had to find a route around it. Being near the top of the Wallapai Mountain range, we were lucky enough to find a few Forest Service roads that went around the main route so that we could get to it. This being one of those routes that went around our main route. The map showed that it would connect, so we were keeping our fingers crossed. We didn't want to have to turn around at this point and not be able to make it to our final destination, or to complete our loop. And at least some of this driving allows you to see some of the conditions of the road when you're driving on them. A lot of them are a lot better than I thought they would be, but again, some of them are quite technical and very narrow. After seeing pictures, though, of the Gold King Mansion, I really wanted to get there. But at this point, we were just more concerned if we were going to get to our main route in order to take the detour to the Gold King Mansion. There are very large pros and cons to this trip. Pros being there is so much to see, and the cons are if you have enough time to see everything. So we actually didn't stop very frequently. We only stopped when it was an absolute must-see, or when we had to take a nature walk, or actually camp for the evening, or checking out the views. For this part of the trip, I wish I would have filmed more of it. But as you can see, the road is a little bit on the washed out side. On the way to the Gold King Mansion, for some reason it said the road was pristine and great and beautiful. They fibbed a lot. If the road wasn't washed out, then these giant boulders actually were in the middle of the road, and so we were trying to climb over them, keeping our fingers crossed that the secondary route out of here that would attach us to another part of the Peace Trail was actually intact. So, putting our wishes on the side of hope that we were going to be correct and that the map was going to be correct, we kept going. We'd get to a smooth part of the road and thought we were good to go, and then all of a sudden either the road would disappear or it would wash out again. But this is all part of the fun of the Peace Trail. You never know what you're going to get, and you just kind of have to be prepared for everything. And the area that we're driving through was part of the devastation for the burn last year in the Wallapai Mountains. But all in all, it looked like it was recovering quite well. I just can't believe some of the rocks and the terrain that we went over. It was absolutely crazy. It's just a not walk on the roof. And there's the warning sign. Don't walk on the roof. And here's the house. Hey, Annie.
Hey, sweetheart.
See if we can zoom out. This should give us a better perspective of the house. The front rooms. The view with the mine over there. And this other room at the back of the house. As we come in, it has big crown molding that was plaster. And a fireplace. Another view outside with a staircase leading down. This is just another one of the rooms. I think we can go around back. This is cute. Little area out that leads down those stairs. Oops. A view from this side of the house. Where we just were at, that little garden porch area. Over here. Looks like a bathroom area. Behind the fireplace, there's that other little room. We're all traveling stardust. There's the back. And we said hi to Dan. And over here looks like an outdoor fire pit, barbecue. And this little guy that's starting to fall. Some stairs. Which we have to jump off of because they're missing. As we go out this way, everything's been kind of burnt. A lot of people that camp here. That view. Oh, so pretty. Oh. Look at this, guys. Wow. A building of some kind, probably processing for the mine, I would imagine, seeing as how it's right here. Ooh. There's glass and wood and all kinds of broken bits on the ground. I would love to find old mining glass from an area like this. More stuff up there. Ooh. Wow. Old timbers. This would have been part of a head frame. That's cool. Kind of walking up this butt backwards. But I don't know how else to get up here. This isn't, well, it's visited often, but it's not visited that often, it looks like. What? Well, the one we just took? Uh-oh. The which one? We have to go over there? Oh. Oh, hey, look, there's another building over there. Across the way. Oh. Another part of what was probably a head frame. Not yet. Oh, found it. A hole. Oh yeah, that's a hole. So, like every good geologist, there's still a rock. Oh, that is not very deep at all. That's weird. Let's go check it out. Way over there. This area, this was caved in. You don't put big timbers and tracks and big old pipes, and you can see that timber right there. Those aren't just put into a little shallow hole like this. This has been caved in, probably so that people wouldn't do something stupid like jump in it. That sucks. There's another mine way over there. There's another one up the hill. And some other areas that have been looked into, but we only have limited time. So this is all we're gonna see. It looks cool though. Big chunks of quartz, as this was a gold mine. Again, most people follow quartz. Ow! That has some more gray blue stuff in it. That's cool. But you can see all the white stuff. Lots of quartz, lots of a dump pile. Oh, the lattice structure of this. Look at all those quartz crystals in there. All of these together, all the stuff has been weathered out like a leach cap. It looks really neat. Man, I wanted something more meaty. It's all right though. We'll check out that powder shack and then I have to take off. So once I did get down to the powder shack, I wasn't actually able to record it because my phone died. So Dan and I decided to push on so we could get to our next campsite, which was the Boreana Mine. We didn't get to this next stop until after dark. That's how long we spent at the Gold King Mansion. So we actually set up all of our tent and a fire and food in the dark, and then the wind started to pick up, which was a disaster. But we survived and were able to go exploring the next morning. The Boreana Mine is tucked back in the Wallapai Mountains. This was said to be Arizona's largest producing tungsten mine in World War I and World War II. It was a gigantic facility for its day, a tiered mill site, a great flotation area, and recovery. If you would like to see an entire full video about the Boreana Mine, I posted that video a couple weeks back, and you can check it out. It's much more in detail, and you get to see all the workings of the mill site, the area, the housing, the junk piles, which are my favorite, and I talk a little bit about the history there. And even though the mine itself looks amazing, my absolute favorite part was the goldfish pond. These are so incredibly cute. Oh no, go. Get the fishies. Since it was dark when we set up camp, I didn't get a chance to take a video. And we're taking off from the Boreana Mine to whatever we find next. We actually have quite a long ways to drive today in order to get to our next location. So we don't intend on making too many detours. Wow. This is just an old abandoned cabin. Again, another site on the AZPT trail. That's an even more neat abandoned cabin. Let's check this out. It's like an old bed thing. This is cool. Ew. Old straw mattresses. Gross. Bugs, okay. This is neat. There's some peoples here. Just an old house. Whoops. This is cool. Hi, guys. Ooh. Lots of critters have gone underneath there. Creepy. Old barn house, looks like. Cattle ranching, maybe? It's a cute little area though, look at that. We're going to make a snack, cheese and crackers, beverage. Just relax for a minute. Bouncing around and bumpiness on this trail takes it out of you a little bit. It's not the worst thing in the world, but whew, it's tiring. It's really exhausting. Looks like you can take this road all the way over there. Next time on Elley Knows Rocks, we're on the longest leg of our half trip. We come across an old air compressor by an abandoned mine. We get to see one of my favorite lizards. We take a trip that was supposed to be a shortcut through Mineral Ranch, and then come across one of the creepiest abandoned mines that I have ever been to. Y'all know that I visit these things a lot, but I have never had shivers crawl up my spine as I did when visiting this place. Something was seriously wrong here, so come back next week and see what happens. Also, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters.